Good morning. You've caught us just packing everything away. So we've just got the pegs to go in, the tent to go in the pack, and obviously just double check everything. Make sure that you have all little bits. I've shaken the Durston off, but it's still quite wet, and it really is a pain, an absolute pain when wet to pack into this stuff sack. I'd actually recommend that you put it into a slightly bigger stuff sack. It would be interesting actually to weigh it, because I know they say that silk poly doesn't absorb water. Well, it might not, but it's still soaking wet when you put it in. Even when you give it a good shake, you know, it's still got water on the outside. So I think this, there's someone walking up there. Where did they come from? Is that a path up there, I wonder? Could be, couldn't it? If there is a path up there, it might be worth, could be a path up there. Because there is supposed to be a path up that way, up. I was thinking about going that way, but now I've seen that person going up there. Yeah, there could be a path. Because there is a path that comes down here, and I was thinking it was going to go down that way, but it does appear to go up there, and there is a main path along the top. So that's handy. I'm kind of glad I saw that person now. I think it does mean I'm gonna have to soak my feet again, but yeah, that does look like a path up there. Yeah, so obviously there's silk poly. I mean, I'm not going to knock it. I mean, MLD uses it and it's the new in thing, but I think my point is it's still going to get wet when you put it away. So yes, it might not sag when you're using it, but I don't think it's going to be any lighter putting it away, or not very much anyway. If I'd have known that path was there, imagine how much easier but less fun maybe that would have been to come down. Well, we made it to the forest. We ended up cutting across more long grass and everything, and I thought, well, it might be a shortcut, but it turned out to be not a shortcut through the grass. Anyway, we got to the forest, but a lot of the forest up here anyway, they've cut. So a lot of the forest that was forest up here no longer is. So I don't know what they'll do, whether they'll plant more, or so it's just a boggy mess where the heavy machinery is being through here. It's not very nice at all. Oh, yeah. Oh God. Oh dear. It's really not very nice, and of course now, because of the trees, you're quite exposed. So just over there, that's Tainhead Farm. Now I do know that you can walk, well, you used to be able to, so I don't see why you still can't, along the edge of the forest. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. I could have walked down that way towards the reservoir, but I'm kind of thinking that I wouldn't mind getting into camp sooner rather than later, just to chill out and relax for a few hours with some daylight before it's dark. It's only just gone 12, so we're not exactly short of time. So maybe I should have actually gone down the reservoir. That would have added an extra 2 or 3 kilometers as well, because this way, assuming that we can go this way, we're doing one side of the triangle rather than basically like 2, but it doesn't really matter. I think when you're trying to get fitter and everything else and lose a bit of weight, I think resting is I think resting is also a good thing. So, yeah, so there you can see Tainhead Farm just over there. Definitely would have been better off going down towards the reservoir. Never mind. We've committed this way now. So it's good to do different things. I haven't walked along here before, and I have done the reservoir a few times in the past, and now I've come back here. That's something that we can, and I know of that camp spot where I was, you know, just earlier, then in theory I could park up here, walk around the reservoir, and then down that way and down that way. Oh dear. That's quite a mess of trees, really, or lack of trees, because that's the wall down there, and I'm very, very sure that you can walk on that side. I'm just hoping that somewhere along here there'll be a path that will take us down to it. It's quite breezy. It must be in the 20s with some of those gusts. We're heading some more trees over here. This must be the new plantation, because these don't look very big, comparatively speaking. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna keep walking along here and see where we end up. We finally got out of the forest, which was an event in itself. I don't think we came out an official way. We had to clamber over this and that. Anyway, we got out, and I think that's Kestor Rock dead ahead, and I think that's Thornworthy Tor over there, and we're going to be heading over that way over there. So when we started, we were walking along there towards those tors on the horizon. So as I said in my earlier parts to this trip, basically what we've taken about 3 or 4 days, 3 nights in somewhat peace and calmness without rushing. Okay, we obviously last night's bit we added on a little bit. We've not been down there before. But basically what we're doing now, or the route that we've done this trip over, as I say, 3 nights, is what we would have done or to have done in the past, basically in one day. We're just taking our time. We're just taking our time now and just enjoying being out camping and just enjoying ourselves. So we're coming down to the well, I say the main path. Coming down to a path that takes you, like I said, in that direction. Easy walking now, this bit. And probably if I'd have stuck to the paths, I could have done this entire trip today fairly easily, to be honest, but ended up going off the path a few times. Didn't see any werewolves, so we did okay. But we've made it. We're going to get into camp. It's 20 to 1. Sorry, it's 20 to 2. We'll be in camp by, I mean, it's literally just, it's just down there. Well, it's 2 o'clock. We'll be there by 2. I probably won't pitch up straight away because it is quite accessible down here. So I probably will just collect some water and wait another hour, I think, or maybe half an hour. We'll see. I don't think anyone will move me on down here though, to be fair. If you like your stone circles, there's another one. I'm just looking around this area and there's not really anywhere else. There's maybe some bits over there, but they're quite wet. Maybe over there, but it looks quite slopey. Maybe there's a green area way over there, and then there's some green bits way over that way. Well, welcome to camp. We've had, Lassie, leave it. We've had 2 people, well actually 3 people, 2 people and a dog and 1 chap over there. And that's it. We probably won't get anyone else now, hopefully. They've just said hello and went on their way. Well, having said that, there's 2 people, 2 people coming down. Hopefully they go soon. Anyway, what we've done is we've put the Durston out and I've dropped the inner. I've left it connected at the bottom, but I've just dropped it, angled my Petzl poles and put in a double ground sheet, and then just used 2 pegs just to pull the ground sheet back a little bit. And we'll kind of see how we get on with that. I always leave the door this side with the inner door open anyway. I will admit I do up the door on the other side inside, so obviously there's going to be less protection, but we'll kind of see how it goes. But I just wanted to try this, you know, because this way you kind of give yourself a lot more room. You could almost by the time you've done this, you may as well just use a mid, to be honest, but your MLT solo mid or something. But Dan has talked about angling poles and what have you, so I was kind of, you know, curious as to whether it would work or not. Well, this is inside the Durston. Let's stay. This is inside the Durston when you've got everything dropped and no inner, angle the poles slightly, and you know, you all of a sudden have, you know, quite a bit of space in here. It's certainly a lot more spacious without without the inner. You can actually access areas and everything's accessible. I don't know how Dan can rig it that it would be so much better if you could have an inner, you know, if you want an inner at the back, going about half or 3/4 of the way to the front, so you have a nice porch space, you know, at the front. It would be good if there was a proper length of porch running along there. That would be really, really good. So I don't know I don't know whether Dan can ever do that or not, but that certainly would be good. Stay there, Leslie. So we're basically, it's 10 to 4. I'm just going to wait until about 4:15. The sun sets about 4:20. I'll just wait until about 20 past, and then I'm going to slowly start getting things set up. But I'm not going to get out of my wet stuff until about 20 past, just in case people are wandering around, because like I said, it is an accessible place here. It's like 15 minutes from the car, so it's okay coming here in the winter when it's like dark at 4 o'clock, because you're not going to get anybody down here at 4 o'clock, or thereafter once it's dark. But I just don't want to, I wouldn't camp here in the summer, because people could be, you know, parking up there at 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, and you know, you never get, I don't think anybody would bother you, but you know, it would be quite disturbing if you got people passing you every 5 minutes. So it's not in my mind, it's not a place here for summer, but I think for this time of the year, it you know, it's fine. If I do something around here in the summer, I'd have to have a look and see whether there's something just over, you know, that way a little bit. There must be something over there, you know, even if you're like 10, 15, 20 minutes away, just get you away from this area around here. But there must be something over there. There's a few green bits. Anyway, I think what I will do though, I think I'm going to blow the airbed up and get the quilt out. So just get stuff ready so I can get into bed and put Lass's bed down. Although I wouldn't be surprised if she stays outside, to be honest. But we will see how it goes. By doing it this way, I kind of got less space there for Lassie, but she's still got enough room. I can put her bed down over there. She wants her food. You want your food? What are you doing, Dindins? Alright, let me sort her food out and get this air bed pumped up. I gave up using the air pump thing. I think just blow the air beds up. I really don't think it makes any difference. And you can blow them up in about 10 puffs, whereas you use the pump and it takes like forever to pump it up. And I mean, sometimes I'll take it just for, you know, laziness really, and if weight really isn't a problem. And obviously they come with a sack that you can get air into them, but I don't know whether people are just going weak and feeble these days. You know, just blow the bloody things up. I really don't think it makes a huge difference to their durability or life or anything. And it just takes forever. You're using that sack thing and, you know, getting air in with that. I did it the first night, you know, over there. I just gave up in the end and blew it up with my big mouth. To be fair, that was probably about 25 or 30, but it's much easier than waiting for the airbed, you know, than waiting for the inflating thing, and much quicker and more efficient than the sack thing. Okay, we're going to put these on definitely, because we're definitely going to have more drafts. So much more room in here without the without that inner. It does make a difference. Oh. Where did I put my pillow? Oh, this is so nice. I suppose the people who don't enjoy this, or you know, can't appreciate this, is probably this is probably like, you know, hell on earth. But this is so this is so relaxing and enjoyable. Well, like I said in one of my other videos, every night you're at home is one less night camping. I think I'm probably going to keep this thicker coat on today, because there's definitely going to be more draft today. But then, as I say with the, you know, with my other drafty shelters, you just manage it. That's all. It's really not difficult. You just manage what you've and if your head gets cold, well, that's what you got hoods for. Put your hood up. Firepot. I've not had one of these for a very, very long time, and the last time that I had one, it really didn't taste very good. But given that they all seem pretty decent these days, I thought I ought to revisit Firepot. So when I was in Scotland with Chris and I was getting some supplies, I grabbed one, £8.40. It's a bit pricey, but they're all about that price. So we've boiled up approximately 280 mil, and we've got it to approximately, in fact, if anything, it's a bit below line 4. So now the other meals, it says to leave for 5 to 10 minutes. This one, it says to leave for 15 minutes, so it's nearly past. So we'll leave this until 1:45. This is beef stew with pearl barley. Okay, well, it's been a good 15 minutes. I've been watching Mad Max Fury Road. It's quite ridiculous. Right. So that's what it looks like. I must admit, it looks okay. It's had, like I said, a good 15 minutes. It's soaked up pretty much all the water. It's okay. It's kind of on a par with mine, although mine, I would say, is probably better. I mean, it's real pieces of food. It's like it could do with a bit of salt and pepper, or, you know, livening up a bit. So it's quite bland. It's quite chewy. I'm not sure what I would score this out of 10. I mean, it's edible, but you can't compare it to the others though. Whereas the other ones I could eat, like, you know, if I was out for 3 nights, I could eat 3 of them. I think if I had to eat 3 of these in 3 nights, I think by the 3rd night I'd be a bit tired of it. Like I said, it's real pieces of food. You know, I can see mince, I can see bits of carrot, I can see bits of potato. But even mine, you know, when I do mine, it seems to hydrate better, and well, it tastes better because I put more, you know, salt and pepper and such like in. I mean, I don't want to be really mean and just give it 5 out of 10, but it's not more than 6. I must admit, with the others, I was like, oh, I'm, you know, feeling sad when it's nearly finished. This one, there's still quite a bit, well, some left. And I'm kind of sort of thinking, I'll be glad when I finish this. And I think it's better than it was when I had them, I don't know, what, 10 years ago? And they were completely inedible. Back then they were horrible, really. Oh, I couldn't eat them. That's why I just haven't bought any Firepot for years. I think it was Firepot. It might have been something else, but I think it was Firepot. It wasn't very nice anyway. I mean, it's definitely better if it is the same one. It's definitely better than it was, but it's just every mouthful is quite chewy. I don't know what it is with theirs. I think my homemade is better. The Expedition and Real Termite, it's just leagues better than that. It's just really not very nice. As I say, it's just I don't like to, you know, criticize things unduly. It was flavourless, bland. It didn't really hydrate very well. You know, it was edible. So it wasn't that I couldn't eat it or didn't want to eat it, but I think whereas with those other 2, I would want some more at some point. I wouldn't buy that again. Firepot, if you want to try to improve things and send me some more, feel free. But yeah, I have to say this is a pretty decent way of shelter. A pretty decent way of using the Durston. To be fair to it, this is pretty decent. Yeah, I still have my MLD stuff, obviously, but I must admit this isn't bad though. You know, if you with that pole there, and then obviously, you know, you've just given yourself just, you know, all of this room through here. You know, if you had a 1.5 sized ground sheet, you know, a straight ground sheet running, you know, through the middle, then, you know, you'd have a pretty decent sized porch. Obviously this is a, you know, this is a double, this is a double ground sheet. So, you know, I've only been able to make it porch-ish by, you know, by pulling the ground sheet in with a couple of spare pegs. And then I kind of sort of stuck Lassie over there. But this might be a better way of using this Durston without that infernal inner that everybody, you know, so much, everybody likes their inners, but they take up a lot of room, and you know, there's a bit of condensation, but to be fair, again, not very much, you know. Got to be fair where, you know, got to be fair. There's not much condensation. I'm not going to start jumping up and down saying, oh, everybody go and get your MOD stuff, make and all those things. But yeah, this is, I don't think this is as stable in a strong wind, personally. You know, personally, I think I'd rather have a pyramid than this. But yeah, it's breezy out. I don't know how cold how breezy it is, but it's not bad. It's not bad. We've got quite a gap, you know, around the base, so that's obviously also helping to keep the condensation at bay as well. There's, you know, definitely a breeze, but I mean, it's not much. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's about 10 degrees, so it's really not freezing. It took quite a long time for my feet to warm up. It was probably an hour or two, to be honest. You know, I definitely had quite chilly feet for, you know, for a while. But, you know, if you're a tall person, then, you know, and you're not going to be in you know, silly wind, then, you know, again, as I have said before, this is not a bad option for a tall person. You know, just angle that pole, you know, like that, and to be fair, it's not angled massively more. That one there, that one is angled a lot more. That one is angled. I don't know how clearly you can see that, but that one I've angled a lot more, you know, to give me room here. So I've got room here, but that one this one I've kind of made straighter to give, you know, to give the woofer room. So that one I've kind of made straight to give her room over there. And then this one I've angled much more steeply to give me room. So that's not ideal. You know, if the wind was really strong, then, you know, I would be wanting to make that pole straight, but it's certainly fine for, you know, certainly fine for this weather. And then I can put all my, you know, all my bits can go there. You know, you just give yourself more usable space, you know, where you can put things. You know, before, you know, for me, this is for me as a right-leaning person, I mean, I'm right-leaning anyway at the best of times, but, you know, for a right-leaning person, now, you know, I can put all my junk there, which I wouldn't have been, you know, which you can't do when the inner's there, because you lose that corner. You know, the only real downside, as I say, and this is really why I prefer the mid or the door to be more in the middle, is if the weather's inclement, you know, if the weather's, you know, okay, I could open that door, but then I've kind of got this huge open area, which then means that this stuff here, you know, is more more exposed, but because I've been able to bring it further back, it's probably relatively safe there, because obviously that whole panel, this whole panel here, you know, is effectively a door. Not this bit here, but that bit there, you know, is a door. But it certainly makes it more usable in here by getting that inner down and putting a ground sheet down. You should try it, you know, if you've got a Durston, get a single or a single and a half bathtub ground sheet. This is an old one, I've had this one for years. This is an Oakley one. This is one of 2 items that Sean actually finished for me. I had paid for a couple of other things, and unfortunately they were never done, and I had to get my money back, you know, donkeys years ago. Like I said, you know, you could literally, this is a double ground sheet and it fits in here. So this single Durston, if you angle those poles and you're not in, you know, really bad weather, you could sleep 2 people in here. I'm not saying it would be, you know, you're not going to have very much of a porch. In fact, you probably wouldn't have much porch at all, you know, because clearly I can get myself in here and cook by moving the inner in. But if there was 2 of you though, you could sit up, you know, and pour the ground sheet in, do some cooking, and then just move the ground sheet back for sleeping. So I mean, it wouldn't be impossible. It probably wouldn't be very convenient, but not impossible. And you'd still have, you know, because the double goes, you know, over to that point there. So it goes over to the corner. I mean, it basically, you know, a double would, in effect, you know, take up, yeah, I'm sure if that's the rain. You know, it goes over there, so you could get it quite close to the left-hand side. You could get it quite close to the left-hand side, and you'd have a few inches over there. You'd have about 6 inches of porch. But yeah, I mean, you could turn this into a double, sleep 2 people in here quite easy. You know, with a bit jiggery pokery. You know, and if you were a couple, you wouldn't have you wouldn't have a pole between you. Dan, you could have some hanky panky going on in a single Durston. Tony's advocating sex in a Durston. Well, you know, it certainly would be possible because you wouldn't have a pole in the middle. So that's your bonus of you know, of a Durston. If you've got to lean your poles, you can get up to some mischief. And you could do some. I mean, you know, you can sit up. You know, you can sit up. I mean, your head kind of does touch the top a little bit, but oh dear. One track mind. It's anyway. That's enough of Tony's porn channel. Anyway, we've got the dog over there sleeping. She's actually staying in here this evening. Mind you, I did get her in, mainly because someone was wandering around, so I thought better to get her in. Oh well, I'm going to carry on watching a film, and yeah, we will reconvene in the morning.